Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar.
Gang, it is time for the Friday edition of the video of the day. It's been a slow Friday. I've been sorting out plastic. And I'm going to tell you something. Those pigs, I don't know where we're getting it from, but those guys are pigs, man. I mean pigs. They throw everything in them. You know, there's just supposed to be plastic in these boxes. Now, granted, the bottles are plastic, but they're not the same kind of plastic, for Pete's sakes. I found water bottles. I pulled out a Kroger's bag today that had these little peanut butter cheese crackers in it from Kroger's. And they were dated for like April 26th of 2010. I tried to give it to the boss. He didn't want it. Been funny if he'd ate one, though. I bet them things are nasty. Boy, this traffic here waiting to get on the freeway is crazy. Is the car behind me, I hope? It's got to be another car. Can't be me. I ain't sitting here waiting all day. I'm going around the corner. Okay, anyway. Not a lot going on as far as news. You know, I always like to touch on the news every little bit. But, not much going on as far as news. Just those three little boys that are missing down by the Michigan-Ohio border. And I guess they're going to charge his father with kidnapping. And the father, I guess, tried to hang himself or something. Tried to kill himself. Yes, that was the motor in the car. Anyway, that was, you know, and I think I might have touched on it the other day. How can you harm your own children? You know, how can you do that to a poor defenseless little kid? And I think I did touch on it a little bit because I got one comment back on it. But that's just crazy. But my back is hurting. Right in between my shoulder blades. It's been hurting every day this week on the way home. Right in between my shoulder blades. It's just from reaching so much at work. You know, I have to reach down and grab the stuff to put in the grinder. But I was on a grinder today, and we got these big, basically what they are is on the inside of the door panel. There's these plastic panels inside the door. That thing. Okay? And it's inside the door. And, of course, they're too big to go on my grinder. So I have the reciprocating saw, or as they like to call it, a sawzall. I guess I call it a sawzall because it does saw all. Anyway, I was cutting them in half. Well, I cut the one in half, and I got it in. The grinder took it. Chopped it up, of course. I got the other part in. I went to stick it in there, and I got it in, and I got it all the way in, and the blades wouldn't grab it. So I've got a board that I use to, you know, push things in. They don't want you sticking your hands in there. Besides that, I couldn't reach that far. And so I got the board in there, and I'm pushing on it. Well, there's a hole in it. I don't know where the speaker goes or what, but there's a hole in it. And I'm pushing it down, and I'm pushing it down. Well, finally, the blade grabs it. And this will tell you how fast that thing is moving. It grabbed the plastic piece, and the wood piece of wood that I was using to push it in with was completely gone from sight by the time I realized it left my hand. Had to shut down the grinder, had to pull the box out, I had to vacuum some of the regrind and the wood off the top, and then I had to open it up and I had to vacuum out the inside of it and get all the wood. There was a piece, I mean, it took that, it was a piece of wood, probably about 3 foot long, and it was probably that thick, and that whole piece of wood was gone. It was in slivers. I mean, in the time it took me to, I can believe it. It took that thing out of my hand so fast. And, you know, the one supervisor goes, "Hey, you know what? Number one, it happens. Number two, at least it was wood and not metal." You know, I mean, the wood, I guess the wood's probably not as hard on the blade as the metal would be, I would imagine. But that sucker snatched that right out of my hand, boy, I'll tell you. And it was gone. I didn't even realize. By the time I realized the piece of wood had left my hand, it was already gone. Because my first instinct was to reach in and grab it, but I couldn't reach in and grab it. It was gone. And then I didn't think to shut the grinder off. It's like, oh. Anyway, next time I'll know. Hopefully there won't be a next time, but you never know. But, man, what a day. And it's been a crazy couple of days. We lost the buyer on our house. Some of you may know I had a purchase agreement on the house. We lost the buyer. They wanted 6% seller help. The bank countered with 3%, and they were having a tough time getting the financing to come up with the other 3%. And I guess they couldn't do it. So it made for some rough time. And I don't know. I was hoping to have the house sold by the end of the year, but apparently not. So I'm going to have to pay the property taxes when I get my income tax back, which ain't going to be good because that's $2,700 of my income tax that's gone that I was hoping to have to save to use this year. But we're gonna see. 2011. I think I'm gonna enter 2011 with a job this year. First time in a couple, 2 or 3 years that I've entered the new year with a job. And I'm looking to make 2011 my year. If those of you who were around and knew me at the beginning of 2009, I said the same thing. 2010, I said the same thing. And 2010's, I mean, it's almost gone. Where did 2010 go? Been through a lot this year. My family and a lot of my friends, and it's been rough. It's been a rough year. 2010 has been. And I'm hoping things will be better in 2011. None of us can really predict the future. You know, we can kind of plan for it, but we can't really predict the future. And it's don't you ever have those times when you wish you knew the future? You knew what was going to happen? You knew, what was going to go on. You had problems, and you knew how those problems were going to come out. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I wish I knew how my problems are going to come out. I've got some issues. Some of you know my issues. Some of you don't. That's okay. If you know, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, that's okay too. No, I'm not going to go into it. I guess I'm just thankful that I have friends that care about me and that'll be there for me. They'll support me, whatever decision I make. Whatever happens. I know I've got friends that'll stand behind me and support me, and even when I have to make the tough decisions. And I know in 2011, I'm going to have some tough decisions to make in 2011. And I'm going to have to make them. And I'm going to have to take a lot into consideration and think about everything that's going on. And I'm going to have to make my decisions based on what I'm feeling, what other people are feeling, and do what's best for me and my life and the things that I have going on in my life. That's what I'm going to have to do. Do you look forward to making those tough decisions? Because I am definitely not looking forward to making some of the tough decisions that I'm going to have to make coming up. And I'll tell you, the decisions that are going to be made by me, they're not going to be made for any other reason. They're going to be made by me, for me. That's it. No matter what anybody else says or does, I'm going to do what's best for me. And I'm hoping that those decisions that I make are going to make people happy. I'm sure not everybody's going to be happy. Because if you try to make everybody happy all the time, you're going to be unhappy. I can tell you that. That's a given. But anyway, real quick here, I'm going to do the joke of the day. Do you know what Popeye likes to drink with his spinach? Olive juice. Alright, yes, if you think about that, it's a dirty joke, but anyway, it's cute. It's cute. If you're a kid out there and you want to go in school and tell that joke to your teacher, don't. Your teacher might not take it the same way as you did. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up the video of the day right here, and I'm going to go home and try and put this thing together. I got some things going on tonight, so I'm not going to have a lot of time. Hopefully we can get something done. I can hook up to the cable on the internet. I can plug the cable line into my laptop and do that way. And it won't hook up to the Wi-Fi. Jonel's wouldn't hook up to the Wi-Fi yesterday either. And it's really starting to get annoying, and I'm very angry with Comcast for it. But I babbled on for over 10 minutes here. This is the Friday video of the day, and I'm your host, Greg, and I'm here just about every day. I try and do it every day, and of course, you know the weekend edition's coming up. I just do that one day out of the weekend, and I usually post it on Sunday sometime. So we will see you probably Sunday for the weekend edition. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend. See ya!
You're still here? It's over. Go home.